afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. After 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call Friday tomorrow night and around 9 p.m. Eastern. One of the in all the meditations that I've reviewed and practiced a lot of them, the one that, as far as I'm concerned, is the most functional, simple, and powerful is the breath. It's called Vipassana, Southern Buddhism. There's all kinds of names. Anapana, concentration on the breath, Anapana. And basically, it's focusing on the breath. Everyone breathes. We all have our individual differences, but we are all breathing in and breathing out. And that's why in these meditations we sit comfortably with our body as straight as is comfortable. Our head, neck, and chest aligned. And you take 2 or 3 intentional, slow, deep breaths and close your eyes. You focus on your breath going in and your breath coming out. So you can do it a couple of ways. By focusing on the muscle in the solar plexus, which every time you breathe in moves in one direction, and every time you breathe out moves in another direction. Rising, falling, rising, falling. By focusing on the inside of your nostrils, is the second one, at the tip of your nose, as the air goes by, you will feel a slight whisper of air on the in-breath. And as the air goes out, you will feel a slight whisper of air on the out-breath. And use whichever one of those 2 is easiest for you to do. You pick one focus, either the rising and falling of the muscle in your abdomen or the air going by the tip of your nose. Stay with it for a period of at least 15 minutes. We're all like a gatekeeper at the gate. Cars go in, cars go out. You don't need to see where they go. Just notice the breath going in, breathing in, and the breath going out, breathing out. Your job is solely to focus your awareness on your primary object of the breath in the gentlest way possible. Your awareness is going to wander. We all experience that. It is going to be grabbed by many stray thoughts. You'll sit down and you'll say, breathing in and breathing out, or rising, falling. Then the thought will come, this will never work. Now you can either take that thought, this will never work, and immediately go off on another train of thought. And even though you have instructions to follow, you just ignore them, and then the meditation time is over. That's okay. Or at some point when you get tired of that, you can say, gee, all I was going to do for these 15 minutes was watch my breath. This is just another thought. Maybe I'll just let it go, and I'll go back to watching my breath. See, that's a strategy for gently bringing your mind back to the breath, for coming back to your awareness. The art is not to get violent with your other thoughts. You do not try to push them away. You don't feel guilty because you are thinking them. They're just thoughts. Very gently, again and again, simply bring your awareness back to the primary object of meditation, breathing in, breathing out. Just keep coming back to the focus of your meditation, back to the breath, back to awareness of the breath. Whether you are breathing or whether your breathing gets fast or slow doesn't matter. Just notice it. Do not try to change it, but just notice it. You are merely remaining aware. The gatekeeper watching the gate open and close. Any sounds, smells, or sensations, just let them come and let them go. Bring your awareness back to either rising and falling or breathing in and breathing out. If your mind wanders, just notice it. And very gently bring it back to breathing in and breathing out, or rising and falling. Wherever your mind is now, just notice where it is. Very gently bring it back to rising and falling, or breathing in and breathing out. If it helps to think to yourself, breathing in or breathing out, with each breath, that is perfectly okay. If it helps to count breaths, try counting to 10, counting each in and out. Breath cycle is 1, and then start over. If your mind wanders off in the middle, start over. I do this a lot. I mean, my mind will wander off, and I'll just go right back and start again. Sometimes it can be really hard to get to 10. But don't judge yourself. Don't get frustrated. There's no success or failure. Only your awareness of the breath. All the sounds, everything that comes into your ears, just notice them as more thoughts and come back to your breath. There is nothing you need to think about now other than breathing in and breathing out, or rising and falling. Notice the shape and form as the breath goes by. The beginning, middle, and end of the in-breath. The space in between. The beginning, middle, and end of the out-breath. And again, the space. If you experience agitation or confusion or boredom or bliss or anything, just see it as another thought. Notice it. Bring your awareness back to rising and falling, or breathing in and breathing out. If you begin to doze, take a few deep, intentional breaths, rising and falling, or breathing in and breathing out. All the feelings in your body, the sounds, sensations, the tastes, the smells, the sights, just notice them coming and going. Bring your awareness back to the primary object of meditation. Firm your seat, head straight, rising and falling, or breathing in and breathing out. If you are getting to the end of your sit, use these last minutes consciously. There is no beginning and there is no end. Every breath is the first and the last. Gently but firmly, each time your mind wanders, bring it back to rising and falling, or breathing in and breathing out. Be vigilant but gentle. Bring the awareness back to the basic primary object of meditation, the breath. If your mind becomes agitated in the course of the day, bring it back to the breath, rising and falling, breathing in and breathing out. Om. So it's simple, easy, because all we do is focus on the breath. That's it. Rising and falling, breathing in and breathing out. And our minds all wander. I mean, it's, pretty much, or that's what our minds do. They wander. And every time they wander, it interrupts. And so what you do is you just go right back and start over. It's the only way. I mean, you don't pick up where you left off. You just go right back and start over. Now, when we use mantras, affirmations, whatever you want to call them, mantra is a repeated prayer, words, a holy name, or a sacred sound or sounds. It's like a tape loop going on inside that reminds us of who we are. It's like a niche in the wall where the candle flame never flickers. It always brings you right back into your heart, into the eternal present. So a mantra can be a name or names of God. Right? It can be Sanskrit or English or Spanish or whatever language you know. It is usually recited silently in the mind, though at times you may want to say it aloud or subvocally, still keeping it internalized and without including on other people's psychic space. Now, Sanskrit, as I've told you, is a very old language. It goes back 5, 6, 7,000 years, 10,000 years, because it is based on seed syllables, all right, or bij mantras that set up vibrational fields through sound. They work even when recited silently, reverberating within. Now, some mantras are more conceptual. All mantra works by repetition, practice consistently. Mantra has the ability to steady the mind, transform consciousness. Mantra should be repeated frequently. It can be repeated at any time, any place, anywhere. When you're walking, taking a shower, washing the dishes, waiting in line for the movies. Now, if you really want to know what the word mantra means, it means mind protecting. A mantra protects the mind by preventing it from going into its usual mechanical habits, which often are not our optimal conscious perceptive. Mantra is a powerful spiritual practice for centering and for letting go of strong emotions, such as fear, anxiety, and anger. The more you practice mantra, the more it becomes a part of you. And when you need it on the psychological level, for example, when you feel afraid, using your witness, you notice the fear and replace the fear with your mantra. This will occur naturally once mantra becomes an established practice. Mantra is a daily reminder of the presence of the divine within ourselves and in this universe. A quote from Mahatma Gandhi: "The mantra becomes one's staff of life and carries one through every ordeal. It is no empty repetition, for each repetition has a new meaning, carrying you nearer and nearer and nearer to God." You keep repeating your mantra consciously until it becomes a strong habit. Go for a walk. Say the mantra. All the time you are walking. Notice everything, but keep the mantra going. Keep realizing that being with God is your focus, and therefore everything you see is part of God. The best form in which to worship God is in all forms. Everyone you meet is Ram, is God, who has come to teach you something. Mantra is remembering the place in the heart. Say it, mouth it, think it, feel it in your heart. You are continually meeting the beloved and merging into perfection. Now, all of us, the divine is present in the soul of all living beings and throughout this universe. God has been called by different names in different ages, countries, and religions. According to the Hindu view, an avatar is an incarnation of divine consciousness in human form. An avatar takes birth at a time when spiritual teaching is needed to establish new pathways for realization. So you can look at Ram, Krishna, Buddha, and Jesus are all avatars in the Hindu view. Their names evoke divine power and are often used in mantra. Once you choose a mantra and establish a practice, it is a good idea not to change mantras too much. You stick with the same mantra, the practice will become deeper. There's different mantras you can select. And the one that feels right for you, or find one from a tradition that feels comfortable to you. Use whatever name you associate with the divine. And there's a lot of names. And, I've been saying mantras for 40 years. So we understand the focus of the meditation and that we choose to focus on certain things. And mostly in the meditation, you're listening to your breath. You want to send out a request or thought. That's the only time you can do it if you want it to be successful. You do it through the ego mind, which many people do, thinking they're doing it through the heart mind. It ends up in a dead end. And the key thing is silence. Practicing silence will manifest in calmness and clarity of mind, more energy, and your enhanced ability to hear others with deeper understanding. Silence is part of the ongoing exercise of developing the witness. Notice how your mind interprets the world around you. If possible, set aside some time in your day or a weekend a day to be in silence. Explain to family and friends your intention to be silent, so you will have their support in your efforts. But remember that it's just an exercise. Don't make it a big deal or make a big deal out of it. There is the eternal silence of not talking, and there is the deeper silence of a quiet mind. So we're on this chosen journey, every one of us, and the realization of our understanding is crucial. I mean, if you don't understand what you're doing, where does it go? Sometimes we have the opportunity on this planet and other planets of hanging out with realized beings. Right? Here they call them saints. With their words and pictures is a way to inspire and find guidance for our own path. A realized being is like a pure mirror who shows you all of the places where there is dust on your own mirror. Such a being is a clear mirror because he or she doesn't have any attachments. So all you see are your own attachments writ large. Find words from the great saints and sages of the world that inspire your practice. Copy them in your journal. Put them on your refrigerator door or by your computer. Take them into your heart. The words of realized beings have guided many over the years, and they will help you navigate your inner journey as they have so many others. And a quote from Ramana Maharishi, "The self is the heart, self-luminous. Illumination arises from the heart and reaches the brain, which is the seat of the mind. The world is seen with the mind. So you see the world by the reflected light of the self." Love has to spring spontaneously from within. It is in no way amenable to any form of inner or outer force. Love and coercion can never go together. But while love cannot be forced on anyone, it can be awakened through love itself. Love is essentially self-communicative. Or those who do not have it catch it from those who have it. Those who receive love from others cannot be its recipients without giving a response, which in itself is the nature of love. True love is unconquerable and irresistible. It goes on gathering power, spreading itself until eventually it transforms everyone it touches. Humanity will attain a new mode of being and life through the free and unhampered interplay of pure love, from heart to heart. Have you ever listening to yourself? Have you ever done that? Inner work can be subtle. As our mind quiets, we begin to listen more to our own inner voice. We learn to trust our own intuitive wisdom about our spiritual practice. We can't buy someone else's judgments about our path and can't buy a book's judgments. We have to run it through our own intuitive judgment. Maybe you say, what I really need now is to develop a quiet meditative space, to quiet my mind more deeply. Or what I really need now is to open my heart. Or what I really need is a fierce teacher. Or what I really need is a lot of loving, gentle support. Or what I really need to do is clean out my psychological stuff a little more before I can go on spiritually. When you really keep studying yourself, you will begin to feel where you are blocked and where your next turn in the path is. Trust it. Learn how to trust your inner guide. Now, many people, comparatively speaking, are big advocates of the spiral path, of seeing spiritual work as a kind of spiral staircase. You may go very deeply into a practice, and if it starts not to work anymore, you pull back. Sometimes you do a practice for a while, then you go back into the world, or you try something else. When you come back to that practice on the next round, you see it from a whole new perspective. It's no different than you're an author, you're a writer, right? Well, all of a sudden, you have this block. You can't come up with any ideas or any subject matter, and so you go off somewhere. Silence. Up in the mountains or someplace, and there's a lake, and there's a cabin, and that's it. There's nothing else around. And you just bask in the silence. And you see things from a different place in your consciousness. Who you are, when you come back to it, is different. So while practice is discipline, it's better to be gentle with yourself and not get too violent, pushing yourself too hard. If you feel like you're getting ahead of yourself or starting to burn out, stop for a while. Try other forms. Some people will say, I think I ought to meditate. Right? And I say, don't. Other people come and say, oh, thank God I can meditate. just a matter of timing. In our minds, we often get ahead of our intuitive readiness in our lives or our being. We tend to overkill with our minds. We think our way into things. Our mind conceives the next level of consciousness before we're really there or before we're ready to go there. The result is we're always a little ahead of ourselves in our thoughts. We don't slow down enough to be fully in our being. We're doing things as we think we ought to do them. We're constantly creating new models of ourselves before we're fully here with what is. When we can just slow down and be here now. If you are doing a practice and the practice is not working, you listen intuitively inside. And you either hear, if I reinvest in this practice and I come at it from a new perspective, it could come alive in a new way. Or I'll go do something else for a while and come back to it again later on. You just have to trust however your intuition resonates in that moment. What I do is I go slow. That's what I do. I don't figure. You don't figure that you're going to get enlightened yesterday. Relax. Just start to tune yourself to the spirit within. Do not make assumptions about how your path will go. You say, well, finally, I found my path, the practice that is right for me. But do not assume that practice is what you'll do for the rest of your life. Because the you who found this practice is, in the course of doing the practice, going to change into somebody else. A practice that was appropriate for you initially may not be useful further down the line. Keep staying open, hearing these delicate shifts and balances as they go on inside you. There is a value in deepening a practice. You might want to look at it from the fact is that you just can't, it's just an interpretation analogy. You can't go around digging shallow wells everywhere. You have to dig a deep well so that you get fresh water. That's a good metaphor. But when you watch people over time, eclectic, trying different practices, and then they get drawn into one practice quite deeply. And when they come out the other end, they can do all the practices because they're all the same. It's like a funnel or an hourglass. It all goes in one way through a narrow opening. And at the end, it spreads out. So you go gently. Allow yourself to keep trying things on and going into eclecticism until you genuinely feel pulled into a deeper process. Now, Gurdjieff, the Russian philosopher, said that while an alarm clock will wake you up at one moment, later on you may sleep right through it. You need to keep finding new alarm clocks to awaken yourself. He said you can have something that awakens you out of the sleepwalking of your normal walking, waking consciousness that works one moment, but not the next. Like if you're reading something, you're reading it one moment, and a moment later, you're busy planning your shopping list while you're reading it. And the next moment, you've gone completely to sleep. The mind can travel 1,000,000 miles in the blink of an eye. Buddha said that. Practices are just practices. Practice makes perfect. Once you're perfected, practice is done. You use a boat to cross a river, but once you're on the other side, it's of no further use. At the level of pure being, there's nothing to do, but at the level of your ego, you want to do something, so you do it. There's nothing to do. And yet, you have to do it. You have to make the effort to practice. But you also need to understand that the person who is making the effort never gets enlightened anyway. Understand that your ego who says, oh, I can awaken, is ego that is going to die or disappear or dissolve in the process. Who gets enlightened is not who you think you are, but who you are. Finally, even your trying has to be given up. So in a way, some of us are expanding, and some of us are fermenting. And when I mean expanding, we are focusing on the now. And as time goes by, the mind becomes less and less and less. In other words, you find yourself less and less and less being pulled away by the mind. And you'll find it less and less and less and less. It'll still try to pull you away. Some people get frustrated and say, ah, the heck with it. Keep wandering off. I'm tired of trying to do this. Well, first you don't try, you just do it. We have everything we will ever need. There is nothing that we are lacking. Actually, that we will ever lack. Being yourself, right, is being pure love. And that is what bliss is, Amrisi. Now, we go through different stages every day. You know, we kind of go through, the first stage is meant to create a full reboot. Blank slate inside, which will allow our love vibration to become rooted so it may rise higher than it has ever gone before. Now, you probably won't be able to master this your first day, which a lot of people think they can, which is why this, in meditation, you do for a period of time for certain reasons. After you feel you spent enough time with accepting and clearing whatever is in your energy field, you're ready for stage 2. This stage is where the real excitement begins. It all starts with the feeling of allowing yourself to be penetrated by the most exotic and erotic loving energy in this entire universe. Imagine a golden white flame from God's heart has entered your body, and now millions of magical love lights are lighting inside your brain, heart, chest, and genitals. Every part of your body is glowing like the sun and sparkling with brilliant golden white angelic light. Every time you breathe, your whole body glows brighter. Imagine that the aura around your body sparkles like a Christmas tree with 100,000 super tiny bulbs. Whenever you speak, all your lights shine, radiate, and sparkle. The love lights are coming out of your eyes, mouth, heart, hands, and yes, even your genitals. Feel how these energies from these lights are connecting with the energetic matrix throughout your body. It is inside of your DNA, blood, and bones. Your brain and entire physical body is totally turned on, and it can only receive and broadcast messages of joy, lightness, and love. Within about a week, you should be able to see and feel the difference between when your love lights are off and when they are on. Your sparkling light energy is very powerful and highly magnetic. So when you know you are lit up, command your body that this is going to be your new base, signal, and frequency pattern. Tell your body that this is how every cell inside will be naturally broadcasting energy into the universe from now on. All things are created twice. There's a mental or first creation and a physical or second creation to all things. Begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey. Now the third stage may even be more fun. After you're able to feel when your sparkling love lights are turned off or on, then imagine how your lights are going to impact others. Imagine that you are naturally glowing around all types of people. No matter who you meet, these people walk away from you smiling, happy, and sparkling. Their biggest, brightest lights ignite inside by just being with you. Visualize how your sparkling energy is contagious. And the contagious feeling grows stronger with each person you see and turn on. Notice what happens to your lights when you see other people's faces light up, when they feel you, how bright you are. Imagine that you are a far or short distance away, and a deep smile expands across their face, and their heart starts to glow. See how they change. Watch all their fears, worries, and concerns fall instantly away. They are feeling so good that they feel like dancing on the clouds. Anytime you engage intimately with someone, perhaps connect in a more sensual way, watch how much brighter your lights get. See them radiating out, reaching the furthest edges of this universe. It's good to know that the goal of this is not to have every desirable, gorgeous man or woman out there pounding on your front door. That would get really annoying. The purpose is to increase your energy, awareness, and sensitivity to love. When you become perpetually in touch with how good the lightness of pure love feels to your body, it'll be easy to attract whatever you want in the outer world. Anything. The more often that you do this, the more love you'll physically attract to the outer world and in the outer world. You'll find that this universe has no other choice than to send the sweetest, most kind, generous, loving people, experiences, and situations your way. Randomly, you'll find people are mysteriously and genuinely interested in you. They may want to give you money, hugs, gentle caressing, or engage in some kind of fascinating conversation with you for some unknown reason. All of this and more will manifest when your love lights are on and something shifts in your personal relationship with the energy of love. And what this also does is it really assists you on becoming more sensitive to God's love. This way you become a magnet for the infinite flow of divine love. At the highest levels, you can feel God's angelic energy pouring into your body from the most heavenly realms. This energy is so powerful that even in a few seconds it can wash away all your anxieties, worries, fears, and karma. Quote from Ram Rishi, good, God, love are all the same thing. When the person keeps continuously thinking of any one of these, it will be enough. All meditation is for the purpose of keeping out all other thoughts. See, because we're both human and divine, obviously. It should be understood to meet some major form of resistance, energetic block, or emotional weakness. When we're really we're doing everything we can to turn our love lights on, we all have some unconscious issues to letting in and trusting in love. See, a lot of people say, oh, no, I don't want. We sabotage and we destroy. We back off based upon past experiences. Whether we believe we are unworthy, unlovable, or unwanted is all an illusion. Every block we encounter is the stepping stone which provides the experience of rising higher when we overcome it. So when you feel judgmental, empty, embarrassed, ashamed, depressed, or just emotionally numb when doing this kind of meditation, welcome that energy. Allow it to have more space. Then take extra time relaxing your entire body so you can open up to a new experience of this life. Let your body become very soft, quiet, as relaxed as possible till a stillness happens. This is the best way you can open up blocked energy and turn on your super manifesting love magnet powers fully. Now, if you aren't a visual person and you believe that seeing the lights in this is not going to work for you, no worries. The real gold is in feeling what the brighter love and lightness sensations are like from the inside. Remember the most loving experiences you've had in your past and tap into that energy from those memories. The healing, gentle, soft energy that you can let in will naturally release any skeptical, controlling, or negative feelings inside you. The mind is super powerful, as we know. When we understand this power, we can yield it to manifest whatever we want. This shift happens the day we are truly done playing the game of being disempowered, needy, codependent, or someone who is lacking love. When we are practicing this love, instead of spending our time wishing we were loved, we'll be exploring the game of how sweet, precious, and lovable you truly are. You'll know you've become a true super manifesting love magnet when you feel this sweet glowing energy naturally radiating inside your heart all day long. You'll wake up and begin feeling the energy is already moving alive inside you as you naturally go about your day. It will continue bubbling up from within. The most wonderful situations in your life manifest more often you stop to feel that this love is real. The stronger the energy becomes, the more goodies you'll manifest in the outer world. This universe always rewards those who are open to receive the rewards. So join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Let's celebrate your existence. You've already caused waves of joy in people's hearts all around the world. After you've touched that one person's heart, they have touched another and another. With only 6 degrees of separation, you have enlightened this world many times. Feel the appreciation we all have for you. Thank you. You rock the house. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Friday, May 3rd, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. And watch the magic come in.